want to talk about the race between Marsha Blackburn and Phil Bredesen to be the next senator replacing Bob Corker for the great state of Tennessee. Now, you've heard me talk many times here on this program about Phil Bredesen and those ads that he puts on TV where he talks about what a reasonable, moderate guy he is and how he can reach across the aisle and he can work with anybody. If anybody's got a good idea, I don't care if it's President Trump, whatever. If it's a good idea, good for the people of Tennessee, I'm going to be for it. And if it's a bad idea, then I'm going to be against it. But that he comes across as very, willing to work with the other side, a very moderate Democrat. He certainly isn't surrounding his people, surrounding himself with people who are moderates, that's for sure. I want to play a little piece of audio here for you, featuring Representative Steve Cohen. So he's at a meeting with a bunch of ministers, and he's talking about the upcoming Senate race. And he disparages the President of the United States and says he wishes that Marsha Blackburn, more or less is what he says, I wish Marsha Blackburn would jump off a bridge. Take a listen.
The big orange president, that's not somebody from Knoxville. He's going to come down here and he's going to endorse Marsha Blackburn. Because Marsha Blackburn, if he says jump off the Harahan Bridge, she'll jump off the Harahan Bridge. I wish he'd say that.
Did you get that? He says the president would tell her if the president said you jump off that bridge, she'd jump off that bridge. And then he adds, I wish he'd say that, suggesting that he wishes Martha Blackburn, by the way, his colleague in the House, would jump off a bridge. He's apologized for that, but, I tell you what, it tells you a little bit about the mindset of the people that Phil Bredesen has in his support ranks. I mean, if a congressman who's supporting Phil Bredesen believes that Marsha Blackburn should jump off a bridge, would it be incumbent upon Phil Bredesen to say, oh, well, I'm moderate, Phil Bredesen, I don't want Marsha to jump off a bridge? Shouldn't he have something to say about that? I mean, we've talked about this guy, Mark Brown, who is the official Democrat spokesman in the state of Tennessee, and how he's been out there on the Twitter machine using the F word to describe Trump supporters and calling you an idiot if you were a supporter of this president. And yet Phil Bredesen had nothing to say about that. This man speaks for the Democrat Party in the state of Tennessee. Phil Bredesen is a candidate running for the U.S. Senate as a Democrat in the state of Tennessee, and he's got no issue with that. Well, which Phil Bredesen is it? Is it the Phil Bredesen who comes across as a likable guy on TV? Or is it Phil Bredesen who has nothing to say when Democrats use the F word to describe Trump supporters and he calls them idiots? I mean, Phil Bredesen, if he wants to get some of those people that the Democrat Party is calling idiots to vote for him. And yet Phil Bredesen has nothing to say about that issue, does he? Oh, but wait, there's more. There's more. This, according to the Tennessean, singer-songwriters Jason Isbell and Ben Folds are now going to headline a special event in support of former Governor Phil Bredesen in his bid for the U.S. Senate. Scheduled for August 20th, Isbell and Folds will be joined by Delta Ray. Bredesen's campaign said the event, dubbed Our Country, Our Future, will bring together Tennesseans of all political stripes. See, he says they're going to bring together Tennesseans of all political stripes who are supported by the former governor's bid for the Senate. Okay. Ben Folds. I have a little piece of audio here. Let me see if I can play this out for him. Ben Folds was a supporter of Bernie Sanders.
I support Bernie Sanders. If you do, go to BernieSanders.com. Feel the burn and vote. You got to vote.
There you go. That was Ben Folds right there. He's a supporter of Bernie Sanders. Again, you got to look at the people who are lining up behind Phil Bredesen. All right, you got to. And what about this Isbell guy? Well, this Isbell guy has been on record as calling our president a racist and having other critical things to say about the President of the United States. So here you have a big event that's headlined by a couple of extreme liberals, not moderates, who are supporting Phil Bredesen in his bid for the Senate. Look, I think you have to say that you are known by the people you associate with. You are somehow defined by the people you hang with. And so we've got a guy that was a big Bernie supporter We got another guy who's attacking the president. We got a congressman who calls our president the big orange president and says that Marsha Blackburn, Bredesen's opponent, should jump off a bridge. We got a Democrat spokesman in the state of Tennessee who uses the F word to describe Trump supporters and says that they're idiots. You can learn a lot about a candidate by the people he surrounds himself with.